Hello students, welcome to a lesson through the virtual training center of the Brihanmumbai Mahanagarpalika. My name is Shraddha teacher, and in this lockdown period, since we are not able to go to school children, we will be doing many lessons here online through the virtual class. So come on, let's proceed to our lesson for today.
At something which is related to these signs that you can see here. So what can you see here? What are these? These are some question marks, okay? And this is an exclamation mark. What do you see here? Who is it? Who is it? Who's jumping up and telling you it is me? So it is the full stop. So what do you think we are going to learn about today? We are going to learn about punctuation marks. Now this is an exercise which is there in your textbook. If you could flip your pages around and look at it. So today we will learn about certain punctuation marks. We have around 4 or 5 punctuation marks to study in your book. We will be looking at a few of them, but in great detail. So let us try and see which are the punctuation marks that we use in our language daily. So whenever you open an English textbook, okay, whenever you open any newspaper, whenever you open a magazine, a storybook, you will see many kinds of symbols like this in your book, isn't it, on the page? You will see certain question marks, certain exclamation marks, some place there are commas. So what are these? All these are called as punctuation marks. So why do we use punctuation marks, children? It is a very important part of English, like I told you. So if it is very important, then what is the work which it does? Why do we have to use punctuation marks? So see, punctuation is used to show clearly the meaning of a sentence, alright, and the pause that should be used when you speak or you read a sentence. So, what is a punctuation mark? It is something which is used to show the meaning of a sentence. What does the sentence want to tell you? The meaning of a sentence. And also, where you are supposed to pause. Where are you supposed to halt in a sentence? Where should you pause? For how long should you pause? So, if it is a comma, you will pause for a shorter period of time. If it is a full stop, you will pause for a longer period of time. And like I told you, it is part of both spoken as well as written sentences in English. Okay? It is also used to emphasize the meaning of a sentence. So when you are using a punctuation mark, which are the punctuation marks that we use? So we use the full stop, we use the comma, we use the inverted commas, and we also use the exclamation mark, we use the question mark, we use the apostrophe. Okay, so these are all the different punctuation marks that we use when we write English or when we read something. Okay, so this is about the various punctuation marks that we have. Let us move on and let us study a few of them at least well. So the first punctuation mark that we will study is the full stop. Okay, so the full stop is the most important of all punctuation marks. Why do we call it as most important of all punctuation marks? Because it tells you when you are supposed to stop speaking, when you are supposed to end a sentence. So the full stop, it has got the distinction of being the most important or most powerful of all punctuation marks. Let us try to understand a little bit more about the full stop. So a full stop signals the end of a sentence. Okay, so when you want to finish saying what you are saying, you use a full stop. It is also sometimes called as a period. So when people speak, sometimes you must have heard them saying, I will not do it, period. Means what? They are saying, I will not do this work, full stop, and I do not want any argument on it further. So remember, full stop is used to end a sentence, and it is also called as a period. Now these are certain things which we know already, isn't it? When we talk about a full stop. So that is why I told you in the beginning of the lesson. We will try to look at it in a little further detail. Let us look at some examples now. I want to go to the beach, full stop. So see, I have used a red color dot here, full stop. We played in the sun, full stop. Peter is wearing orange flippers, full stop. So this is the information that I want to give in this particular sentence. I want to go to the beach, that is all. Means I want to go. Further information, if you want, then I will have to write another sentence, or I'll have to say another sentence. Okay? So this is about full stops, the basic meaning of it, and a few examples. Now let us look at some situations in which full stop is used, so you will get a better idea about full stops. So it is used in titles. What is a title? A title is a kind of the way in which you address a person. So see, he owes a lot of money to Mr. Smith. So now when I say Mr. Smith, means Mr. is a man. He's a man. Okay? So it's a title, Mr. So can you see, after the M and the R, there is a full stop. Dr. Smith instructs us in botany. So see, doctor is a title over here. You can also call it as an abbreviation or a short form, but we will look at it separately. Your doctor here is a title given to a person according to his profession. So Dr. Smith instructs us in botany. You use a period after titles like this: Mr., Mrs., Doctor, Professor, Reverend, Captain, Saint, General, etc. So the very first use of full stop is we use it in titles. It is used in numbers also. See here, retail sales fell by 1.3 in January. So 1.3, it is a decimal number, we used a full stop there. The average price of goods rose by just 2.2%. See, we have used a full stop there too. And all these other numbers you can see, there are big full stops used over there. So full stop is used in numbers. Full stop is used after abbreviations too. Now abbreviation, like I told you just now, it is short form. Okay? They were arrested in April. Now for April, they've written APR. So there is a full stop after that. So abbreviations are used in full stop. A full stop is used in abbreviation. In the second line, you can see we are mutual friends, enemies, etc. So instead of writing the full spelling of etc., they have written etc and a full stop. Alright, see. So full stops are used after abbreviations too. Okay. Now come to the second, we can say punctuation mark, a comma. So what is a comma? A comma is a punctuation mark which indicates a pause. So we looked at full stop, which indicates a stop. Now a comma is a pause. So you have not completed your sentence. You have not finished saying what you want to say. You have just halted it for a second. Commas help to clarify meaning for the reader. So when there is a comma, you understand better about what the sentence wants to tell you. Okay? And this is the, you can say, symbol for a comma. All of us know this. Let us look at some examples now. So commas help to clarify meaning. Let us look at some situations in which comma is used. So there will be examples also for us. So commas are used to separate a series of words. So if in a sentence you have different words which you are using, if you want to separate those words, then you use a comma. I want some cake, some candies and ice cream. So I have included three words in this sentence which are separate. But then I do not want to say, I want some cake, full stop. I want some candies, full stop. I want some ice cream, full stop. So I have tried to make my language better by including all the words in this series in one sentence, and I have used a comma there in the middle. I want some cake and then comma, candies. If I had written chocolates also, I would have put one more comma after candies. Okay, but then here I have only three words, cakes, candies and ice cream. Alright, she saw the spider, so a girl, she saw the snake, sorry, and she went white with fear and cried out loud. So see, there are three things which she's doing. Here I have a picture of a snake and I've written spider, take it as a snake, okay? She saw a snake. So the first thing she did was, she saw something very, very, you can say, fearsome. She went white with fear. So when you see something, what happens? The blood from your face drains out and you become white. And then she cried out loud. So if I had used only a full stop and I did not know how to use a comma, I would have said, she saw the snake, full stop. She went white with fear, full stop. And she cried out loud, full stop. But now I know how to use comma, so I have said, she saw the snake, comma, went white with fear and cried out loud. Commas are also used before conjunctions in a sentence. Conjunction. Which is a conjunction here? It is and. So I went to the movies and I went to the store. So a conjunction is used to in fact join two sentences together. So I went to the movies, comma, and to the store. Okay, so I've used the conjunction and here today. One more example. I went running and I saw the duck. So I went running, comma, and conjunction, I saw the duck. Okay, so these are how commas are used in a sentence. Commas are also placed before and after quotation marks. So quotation marks means double inverted commas. Okay, so see here, when you want to say, when you want to report direct speech, so I said, and then you put a comma before you say what that person said. I said, I like to read books. Alright, so you can see the comma there after I said, it is coming before the quotation marks. Next is, I don't want to eat dinner. Then you have a comma there and then you say, said Preeti. So this is how commas are used, sometimes before or sometimes after the quotation mark. Okay, so we have talked about the comma now. See, Preeti is saying she doesn't want dinner. She's saying, no, I don't want dinner. So here it is used before the quotation mark. Commas are used before opening and closing letters also. These two boys are writing letters to someone. So when you say, dear mom, you put a comma there. Yours lovingly, when you want to end the letter, you put a comma there. Respected sir, when you want to begin the letter, you put a comma there. Alright, so commas are used before openings and closings in letters. So these are the uses of the second punctuation mark that we have learned today, that is commas. Let's go to our third punctuation mark for today, and that is the question mark. So let's see what a question mark is. Question marks are used to ask a direct question. For example, have you seen the film yet? So you're asking someone whether you have seen the film. What are you doing? Again, that is a question. So you're using a question mark. Question marks are used to indicate uncertainty. When you don't know whether something is real or not, when you don't know whether it is a fact, you are a little doubtful, you use a question mark. See, John was born in 1988. It's a question mark. I'm not sure when John was born. He is sick. So you are not sure that he is sick. Why are you not sure? Because I saw him going out this morning. So you're not able to believe that he is sick. So you're saying he is sick. I saw him going out this morning. Okay, so question marks are used to indicate uncertainty. See, when you are confused, you can make use of a question mark. Question marks are also used to end a question tag. So when we have, you must have learned this in previously, how we use a question tag. So when there is a question tag, we end the tag by using a question mark. We have never ever seen that, have we? Okay, so this have we part is a tag, is an addition to the question. So there you use the question mark. They are not doing very well, are they? So there you use a question. Okay children, so we looked at three figures of speech today, three punctuation marks today. One is the full stop, that is the end of the sentence. Second is the comma, which is a pause in the sentence. And three is a question mark when you want to ask a question, when you want to express your doubt, etc. Now there could be many other uses also for these punctuation marks.
What is the point of grammar to be done here? It is subject and predicate. So first let us try to understand the meaning of subject, the meaning of predicate, and then we will go on and see many examples. Alright, so come on, let's see what a subject is. So according to the sentence in your textbook, or according to the meaning in your textbook, a word or a phrase in a sentence that shows who or what does the action is the subject. So there are certain words which are important and they bring out the meaning of this concept of subject that I have marked it in red for you. So the subject can be a word or it can be a phrase. A phrase means a group of words and it is part of the sentence. Okay. Now the subject points out to who or what. Who means person and what means thing. And when there is an action, so who does the action or what does the action? Now that person or that thing or that animal which does the action is the subject in a sentence. Okay, now it still might be sounding a little confusing to you. Let us see examples which will make the idea clear to you. Let us understand what predicate is now. So what is predicate? So predicate is the part of a sentence that tells us something about the subject. You can also say that predicate is that part of the sentence which contains the verb. So if you have not understood what I have said in this part, let us move on and understand it better using some examples. So once again, let us try and understand subject and predicate separately with the same example. So what is a subject? A subject is the person or thing that is doing an action. Okay? So the subject is a person. It can be a person, a human being, or it could be a thing. Remember, it could also be an animal, alright, which is doing the action. Alright, so there is some action which is happening and the person or the animal or the thing which is doing the action could be the subject. Or else, it is also the person or thing that is the focus of the sentence. So what is the main idea in the sentence? What is the main focus of the sentence? That is the subject in a sentence. Okay? Now, like I said, definitions could sometimes be confusing. Examples are understood more easily. So let us take an example here. The lion roared at the goat. So here, what is happening here in the sentence? This is happening. The lion roared at the goat. Okay? So what action is happening here? What is the action which is happening? It is the roaring of the lion which is happening. So roaring is the action here, or roared is the action here, isn't it? And who is roaring? Who is the person who is doing this action? Who is roaring? It is the lion. Therefore, the lion is the subject in this particular sentence. I think now the idea must be clear to you that a subject is a person or a thing which is doing the action, or it is a person or the thing about which the sentence wants to speak. So it is the focus of the sentence. Alright, like I told you, we will take the same example to understand what predicate is. So let's go there. So what is a predicate? The predicate of the sentence is the part that contains the action. Okay, so it is the part which tells us what the subject is doing, or it tells us more about the subject. It gives us information about the subject. For example, see here the same example again. The lion roared at the goat. So what is happening again? The same thing is happening. The lion is roaring at the goat. What is the action? The action of roaring. So what is the predicate? Roared at the goat is the predicate. So the lion is the subject and roared at the goat is the predicate. Okay? So hope this simple example clears this idea for you as to what is the meaning of a subject and what is the meaning of a predicate. So what is the difference between a subject and a predicate? So the subject is the who or the whom, whereas the predicate is the action which is done. Very simple. Alright, let us move on and see some examples. So all the subjects are written in green and all the predicates are written in red. I will also mark it for you as I read it. Okay, so Mr. Smith took a walk. So Mr. Smith is the person. What did he do? He took a walk. So Mr. Smith is the subject and took a walk is the predicate. The dentist pulled out a tooth. Who pulled out the tooth? The dentist. What did the dentist do? He pulled out a tooth. So the dentist is the subject and pulled out a tooth is the predicate. The pig with the big snout slobbered on a kid. That means it attacked a kid. So the pig with a big snout is the subject. Slobbered on a kid is the predicate because it is the pig who did the work or action of slobbering on a kid. So these are some more examples for you. So hope the idea is clear. If not, there are some more examples coming your way. So see, the big green frog. So this particular sentence is about the big green frog. So this big green frog is the subject. Now what will be the predicate? What this big green frog did? He jumped across the log. So that is the predicate. So the big green frog jumped across the log. In that the big green frog is a subject and jumped across a log is the predicate. Now the next sentence is about my sweet grandmother. Okay, so who? My sweet grandmother. Therefore it is the subject. And what about the grandmother? Wore a blue dress. So wore a blue dress is the predicate. Okay. Now the next sentence is about this particular thing. So it is the subject, the old shack. Now a shack, children, is not exactly a house, but it is a kind of a shelter. You must have seen these shacks on beaches where they serve you food, etc. Okay. So a shack is not exactly a place where you can live. So you cannot call it a house or a hut. Alright. So the old shack. Now what happened to the old shack? So the old shack is the subject. It is the focus of the sentence. What happened to it? It blew over in the wind. So something happened to the old shack. What happened was it blew over in the wind. So that is the predicate. The last sentence is about the dog. So the dog is the subject. My dog Barney is the subject. What happened to him? He barked at the cat. So he did the action of barking at the cat. So that is the predicate. Okay, children. So I think we have had enough example sentences on subject and predicate now. Let us move on and do an exercise based on subject and predicate. Now children, whenever I bring up an exercise like this, I always tell you that at this point you should pause your video and you should try to solve this exercise on your own, and then play the video again and check whether your answer matches with mine. So come on, there are 5 sentences and I'll give you some time to solve and underline the subject with red and predicate with blue, and then come back and check the answers that I will give you. Okay? So let's check up what the answers are. So the first sentence is, the horse likes to eat hay. So the horse is the subject, and of course likes to eat hay is the predicate. So hope you got this one right. Then you have, the students studied hard for the test. So the students, who studied hard? The students. What did the students do? They studied hard for the test. So that is the predicate. My mom loves me very much. Who loves you very much? My mom. What does my mom do? Loves me very much. So my mom is the subject and loves me very much is a predicate. Look at the next sentence. Here there is a chance that you might make a mistake. My dad's cell phone has a funny ring. So this sentence is not about my dad, but it is about my dad's cell phone. Therefore, my dad's cell phone is the subject. I've underlined it with red. And has a funny ring is the predicate. The bee drank the nectar from the flower. So the bee is the subject. Drank the nectar from the flower is the predicate. Okay, children? So here we talked about certain words and phrases, and we also looked at what subject and predicate is. Now let us check whether we have done what is expected to be done according to the textbook. So see, this is point 5 of the exercise on English workshop in your textbook, where they have asked us to study about the subject and predicate, which we just did. But even then, let us go back and check what we did. So a word or a phrase in a sentence that shows who or what does the action is the subject, isn't it? We just saw it now, and they're giving us examples also, see, of a subject in the following sentences. The underlined part is the subject. So what is underlined? The baby is laughing, so the baby is underlined. The glass fell from the table, so the glass is underlined. These are examples of subject. Whereas what is the predicate they're saying? The predicate is a part of a sentence that tells us something about the subject. So we also learned the same thing. We just said that the predicate is a part which contains the action, okay, or it is part which shows the verb. So look at the same example again. The baby is laughing. So what is the baby doing? What is the action? The baby is laughing. So is laughing is a predicate. The glass fell from the table. What happened to the glass? The glass fell from the table. So that is the predicate.
So children, wasn't that a wonderful video? And did you enjoy watching it? So if you want to watch more such videos in future, then please like this video and also subscribe to our channel, the MCGM Portal for Education, and also hit the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video here. Thank you so much for now. Let's meet again soon.